Hello, I'm Randy Horton from Orthogonal, coming to you from the Boston Convention Center for the second and final day of the LSX World Congress. You can't make it to every conference in MedTech, and even if you can't possibly talk to every interesting person in each conference. So what we're doing is curating a set of interviews with interesting people at this show who have insights to share with you and lessons learned for the marketplace. So with that, please introduce yourself and let us know who you are.
First of all, Randy just grabbed me off the street and asked me to answer whatever questions he had. So forgive me for, no, I'm kidding. I'm Jim Robertson. I'm the CEO, founder for New Life Solutions. I invented this little medical technology called New V3. It's a non-invasive, non-pharmaceutical, miniaturized wearable tech.
Okay.
Does neuromodulation. That's about as simple as we can do it.
Okay.
I will say we did a keynote this morning, and the basis of that was our story, which is I have no business being here, really. I'm a builder, developer, architect by trade. Came across this totally by accident. I had an accident on a wave runner at 75 miles an hour, got introduced to the technology behind NeuroStim. It helped me dramatically quite a number of years ago. That led me to explore further and ultimately led me to invent the device we have today.
So give us a little more detail about the device.
Yeah. So the device is based on neural stimulation,
Okay.
more specifically neuromodulation.
Mm-hmm.
We send an electrical signal at a very small frequency, 1 hertz, tick, 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 right?
Okay.
Versus a lot of stim devices that 50, 100 hertz, you feel a buzz. We're the tortoise, not the hare.
Right.
We get there slowly over 12 to 24 weeks. Pain, anxiety, depression, sleeplessness.
Okay.
Those are the 4 symptoms that cause what we call autonomic dysfunction, or an imbalance in your fight or flight versus your rest and digest. Those have to be in balance for your body to do what it was originally meant to do. So you get a patient that has a disease, adverse event, surgery, they're out of balance. Our device works to take that patient back into balance over time by sending a tiny little signal to mainly 4 of the cranial nerves.
So I'm picturing, is this like an earbud for for neurostimulation?
Oh, I wish I didn't have it. Yeah, it looks like an MP3 player when it's on your ear.
And is it used as needed or?
So it's a 12-week program.
Okay.
The device can be taken off or on by the patient, and it can be recharged just like an MP3 player can. Put it in the pod. That's so you can shower with it off or on, and you can sleep with it off or on, your choice. We recommend, though, the patient keep it on 24/7 if they can for 12 weeks.
Oh, wow. Okay.
It's a 12-week program.
And then what's the runway after 12 weeks? Is this a permanent change?
Yeah, that's a good question. It's different for every patient, of course, every patient population. So let's say we've got a veteran suffering from PTSD.
Mm-hmm.
They might need those treatments for 2 years instead of 12 weeks based on the severity of their PTSD. But if you have somebody with, let's say, migraine headaches, we may treat them for 12 weeks and we never see them again because once their system is rebalanced, those headaches go away. So it really depends on the patient's personal. What is consistent among all patients is rebalancing that sympathetic with parasympathetic nervous system. That's the consistency.
So if you've got something that somebody's keeping their ear 12 weeks straight, it's got to be not annoying. Like, the user perspective's got to be pretty key.
To be honest, that's what we spent so much time on. We've known the technology, we've known the science for years.
Indeed.
We spent the last couple of years doing nothing but comfort. Patient compliance is critical. If the patient's not going to keep the device on, it's not going to do you any good.
Right.
Once you put our device on, it's so lightweight and comfortable, you forget it's on. You don't know it's there.
And how much work was that to figure all that out?
Well, we're 15 years into it, and we're just going to market first quarter next year.
Okay.
So We did our homework.
People wearing headphones. Bose headphones were the thing when
you know, and that's a lot of it is the advancement of technology over the last couple of years, 2 or 3 years, even with materials, biocompatible materials are much more available now. 3D printing, all of our device is 3D printed now instead of injection molded, and we do all that in-house with our own medical grade 3D printers. So you're right. It's back then it was a different, so we had to allow the technology to catch up with us so that we could make that device miniaturized and usable.
Interesting. So one of the comments you made in the run-up to us doing this interview was that you could do a lot of things with a medical device. So part of the challenge is figuring out what things you want to do and doing those things very well. Should talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, I think it's a balance between scope of patient populations and who we're addressing initially and spreading yourself too thin because our market is huge. Anybody suffering from pain, anxiety, depression, and sleeplessness is a prospective patient or client. Well, that's a big group of people. If you're not careful, you become quickly overwhelmed with the demand. So you have to focus first. So some of our initial patient populations are rheumatology, the rheumatology area with rheumatoid arthritis, fibromyalgia, joint pain, back pain, that sort of thing. And then pre and post-op surgery and recovery is a big model for us. So we stay focused in those areas initially. As far as business models, our provider network is our first rollout to physicians and clinics so that they can treat their patients with NuV3. Then it goes to the corporate model or employers. Let's say you're a corporation, you want to take care of your employees that are high risk. They might be suffering from pain medications, addiction, pain, anxiety. You take care of that population. And then we go direct to consumer. We go direct to patient. And that's why we designed the device to be self-applied.
Yeah. It almost sounds like, they talk about broad spectrum antibiotics. This is a broad spectrum neuromodulator.
Yeah, there you go. That's not a bad way to put it.
And I think one of the other points you made was really interesting was, and we like to talk about this. Look, we build software as a medical device. We do AI, ML. But as we like to say, just because you can use a cool toy doesn't mean you should use a cool toy. So you've gone the other way. You don't have an app right now, right? It's a standalone device. Is that
correct? We again in stages, right? So we're not playing checkers, we're playing chess. So you got to know how the men move. Then you got to know the strategy. Marketing is a large part of that. But how that backs into the engineering of the technology itself is where you have to build in, again, straightforward ease of use. So if you're able to treat those people without a connecting app originally or the device talking to the app, we could very well have an app that tracks the patient's progress, which is what we're doing, but then you make one talk to the other. Those are two separate regulatory paths, as you know.
Okay. And do you see down the road, for long, is there room for artificial intelligence as an application within your device? Personalized treatment and those kinds of things?
You want to talk about a big bucket. AI right now is this big bucket, right? So a part of AI that could work for us is when we go to, let's back up. We use something called the heart rate variability a lot, and that helps us show what a patient's doing, show what's going on. Well, that is a specific diagnostic tool. We look to build that into our device so the device can recognize what somebody's heart rate variability is, recognize what their needs are, and then adjust itself to those needs. That's where AI comes in.
Okay. Got it. And that's somewhere on the future roadmap.
Yeah.
Okay.
And not too far down the future. I'm getting old.
What advice do you have for people getting into neuromodulation startups and to tackle this journey? What do you wish you had known 15 years ago, 10 years ago, or 5 years ago, or last year for that matter?
if I had known back then what I know now, I probably would not have started. I wouldn't have even gone down this journey, right?
Ignorance is bliss.
In my case, it was. I'd say I was too stupid to know any better. So every time we came up, we just problem solved.
Right.
If I had been a scientist or a medical professional, I might have looked at this and said, wow, that's a mountain to climb.
Right.
We got there one step at a time. But my advice would be, as it was with us, if you really have something, not that you're looking for an exit strategy for, or you're looking to make the company valuable and cash out, something that's really going to help the end user, the client, the patient, just never give up. Never, ever, ever give up. Don't let anybody tell you. Yep.
Perseverance.
That's it.
Relentlessness. All right. So grit is the moral of the story.
That's it.
Terrific. Well, thanks for coming in today. Appreciate it.
Thanks very
Thanks for
much.
sharing some of your talk.
Yep.
All right.
I appreciate it.
Good luck.